Hey y'all, I am finally back in the garden again, racing the sun, trying to beat the clock since we gained an hour of sleep last night but lost an hour of daylight. So it's going to be getting dark soon. Alright, so I flipped the camera around. I do not like driving at night because I have PTSD from past accidents where people hit me. So I definitely don't like driving in the dark, and especially not when there's any rain or sleet or anything, because it seems like those are the worst of the worst drivers coming out doing the boldest moves on the highway. Anyway, we've been having rain for the past few days, so I have not been outside since probably Tuesday or Wednesday, probably maybe Monday or Tuesday. Whenever we got our first rain, that's when I didn't come back out. But I was looking out the window every now and again, and even prior to that, I wasn't doing much except bringing things out. So I haven't cleaned up anything, and now all the stuff has gotten wet, but it is dried up, so it should be like the zinnias that I had put on the ground and I did drag them over into this pile, and they should be easier to pick up even though they're wet now. But anyway, over here, I'm just going to share what I have in the back garden right now. I do still have stuff in the front yard. I'm going to be removing that soon. It's just peppers and some Jamaican sorrel. But anyway, I do have tomatoes growing on this plant up here in the front. My nasturtiums have flowers. This is another tomato plant that I had staked, and it seems to be doing well. And I put some Swiss chard, and I am not sure. I've forgotten what the other things. Maybe they're collards that I put in here, and collards get huge. The Georgia collards, but I just needed somewhere to put them, so I put them out here. And the Swiss chard was not doing well at first. I thought none of it was going to make it, but as you can see, at least four of them did. Like the one up here in the front there, this one, that one, which looked the worst, and then there's also a small one right here. I'm not even sure if I planted. I must have planted it because it's the only place it could have came from. Anyway, I have a lot of habanero to go ahead and harvest. I think I might go ahead and remove these after I harvest this stuff because um, I may get another harvest of peppers, but I also have habaneros in my front yard, so I have plenty, and I want to dehydrate these, freeze and dehydrate. But I want to try dehydrating. And yeah, I have a lot of peppers that should have been picked. So I'm going to need to come out here and just harvest everything, and then I'll reassess and decide if I'm going to remove anything and what I'll remove. Because I will definitely remove some things, because I can see just from here that the wind and the weather has done a number on some things. The Jamaican sorrel, there are a lot of these, and I think like this, I think it's ready. I think they open, but I don't know if these are still blooming or not. So I'll wait to see what happens in the morning. But there are a lot. Maybe these are the ones blooming, the ones that had the petals still. But yeah, I will have a lot to harvest from here, but I will be so happy to get rid of this. Look how horrible this looks. It just, anyway, I'm going to try to make sure this thing maintains some order next year. It is leaning all over the pepper bed. You know, I haven't been able to reach these peppers here for quite some time. But yeah, so yeah, I need to harvest. I will be harvesting a lot of this week, and definitely probably go ahead and get rid of. I mean, this isn't. I mean, this is just a matter of what I can harvest that's ready, and waiting for the rest. But I will get so much of it that I might just go ahead and remove this, just because it is an eyesore, and that really frustrates me. Anyway, here I have my pepper bed, and most of the stuff has been knocked down. Lots of things are ready to be harvested. Even my tomato plant got knocked down. Even I put these two stakes here, but I mean, I don't. It's not dead, but it's on the ground. And I think if I try to lift it, that will break it and kill it, or I could bury it. But I don't know. I may just leave it like it is. It has flowers on it, and just see what produces from it. I forgot which tomato plant that was in this bed, but I think I'll remove all of these peppers. Although I saw some big peppers that I needed to go ahead and harvest. And this is a shishitu pepper. Um, anyway, oh yeah, here are. That's what's weighing this plant down. Has some huge bell peppers. So I may keep this one if, depending on what it looks like after I get those off. And I'm gonna have to do that after I come back because I'm trying again, like I said, I'm trying to beat the clock. And I'm doing this while my dog eats. You can kind of see from here that eggplant is still growing, and all of my tomatoes over there are still growing and have lots of flowers. But it's like, it's a lot of mess over here. But that's okay if they're still producing. But I'm going to harvest what's on here. Like these habanadas, some of them are turning orange. I'm not sure if that means they're too old or. Anyway, I'm going to get those off. And the shishitu, I'm going to go through and get those off. And then I may lead the plant, but if I see a lot of viable flowers, which I do, and just see what happens with it. And so if it produces another harvest, that's good. If not, then I'll just get rid of it in a month or so max, if I don't get rid of this week. Here is a volunteer zinnia. All right, so all these things I left on this ledge. So this brick wall here, I left on the ledge. The lavender looks great, but the tomatoes, well, I mean, these, some of them look okay. But I had in plans for moving this, but just never got around to it. Oh, I do see some tomatoes, but they look kind of dusty. It looked tiny too, so I don't know. There's another tomato on that one. But I had planned to plant these in soil, or at least add some soil to these containers. But really, I wanted to add a raised bed inside of here. But anyway, I haven't gotten to that yet. But I think I'll leave it for now. See what happens with it. These are dried out, so they need to be watered. But the stuff that's in the ground, which is why I prefer stuff to be in the raised beds, those things are fine. All right, let's go. Keep going. Oh, this one has a lot of tomatoes too on the ground. There's a nice sized tomato. So yeah, I'm gonna keep these. But I do want to kind of, I would like to, well, at least add soil to these containers. But I really wanted to up pot them, or not up pot. I wanted to build a raised bed here, going all the way down, and put them in that. But I'll definitely have that for next year. The eggplants are looking crazy. I moved my kohlrabi out here. So that's what this is in the front. I haven't fertilized the garden, but I did put compost in here after I removed, it was a bell pepper plant here. I removed that and I added some compost. And then I put in the kohlrabi. I'm still having a lot of eggplants that I can harvest. I definitely need to go ahead and harvest them because they're weighing down these plants. I did remove some of the eggplants. Like I don't think I removed the whole plant, but I did maybe cut off like some branches that had been weighed down and wouldn't come up, kind of like these, which I'll probably remove these, or at least remove the fruit and see if they perk back up. All right, so here are my blueberries still. I haven't done anything to them. I am going to move them into this pink bed at some point. And I did hurt my back, but I did not like injure myself. I could feel where my muscles were sore, but it didn't affect anything. So that is a huge improvement on this time last year when I had to go through physical therapy because of my back pain, lower back pain. So I really think I've fixed that. I'm still gonna be careful, but I think I'm the main thing I've been doing is walking. But I'm gonna reincorporate my weight lifting stuff that I learned when I went through physical therapy. But the walking alone has strengthened my core, and that's why I think I wasn't really impacted by that. I definitely felt it. Have some morning glory coming up in there, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. And yeah, but I want to get it in the ground before winter so that come spring when it comes up it'll be fully in the ground in this bed, and I should get an awesome harvest from this. I had an office harvest. I had an awesome harvest this year in these containers. I think this is the third year I've had these blueberries. So next year will be the fourth year. The goji berries back here, like more eggplant. I need to harvest that are weighing down this limb, but anyway, I'll do that later. The goji berries. I one of my longest hose had a leak or something in it. So my longest hose right now is like 50 feet. The old one was at least 100 feet. So anyway, I can't reach out here. So I haven't been watering this. I did manually water it maybe once last Friday, but then of course it's been raining. So this is still alive. And I do see some goji berries. I'm trying to be careful on this little ledge. Whoops. But I do see goji berries in there. Lots of them. So I'm going to get to taste those at the very least. And hopefully these do stay contained. I know Brooke Former said these are like kind of invasive, they spread, but hopefully because they're in this raised bed, they'll stay contained back here. And then there's morning glory coming back fierce because of the rain. I do still have strawberries. These are the only strawberries that I have that I'm going to keep. So I need for those to survive. And I'm going to transplant them and move them in the other strawberry bed. All right, so this over here has become a massive, massive, not a mess. It looks pretty awesome, but it's definitely a lot of stuff in here. Maybe shouldn't have. I definitely kind of maybe probably overdid it. My tomatoes, I wanted them to be supported by this, but I mean, I guess they are. Yeah, I guess they are. It kind of went as planned, but they are, since it's not taut, that's probably what it is. If I go ahead and put some zip ties and make that taut, they'll lift them off of my other stuff. I'm not sure what this stuff is. I think this is broccoli. Maybe that's broccoli. Oh man, that looks like broccoli coming. I've never grown broccoli. Oh, and this is my pak choi. I have not had any well, I have leaf miners apparently, but I haven't had any. I'm gonna get my gloves before I start digging in here. But I need to harvest this. But every time, look, oh my goodness. I need to harvest this and cook this. I'm gonna cut and come again so that I'll take some leaves and let them regrow until they die. Hopefully that's an old leaf in there, not some kind of bug. I don't think it's a bug. The rips and tears in here are from me tearing it when I was watering it or it growing into things. That's what I think. I have a lot of things tucked in here. There's some cilantro. I believe that's cilantro. And basil in the back. So hopefully maybe the basil is helping with the pests. So I also have basil over there on the other side. There are 4 tomato plants in this bed. And yeah, they're leaning. Like this one has had. Yeah, I definitely should have had more. I need to do something to control these plants better. And I'll also, those are mushrooms. Ew. See, I might have to get rid of that. But also harvest these and try cooking these. See, look at this one. Look, this one did have a little pest activity at first, but it has totally recovered from that. It was minor, and it looks really great. So yeah, I need to harvest that stuff when I get back, even though it may be dark. But yeah, it looks good over there, but definitely packed. I still haven't done this. I was hoping now that it's raining, anyway, I'll get to this at some point. All right, so this is the old strawberry bed. These are the strawberry plants that I don't like. Um, and then a whole bunch of weeds are in here. So all of this is gonna go. So I'm gonna clean that out. Haven't done anything to this yet, or that, although I'm not gonna grow in that container. It's a blue 17-gallon container. I'm just gonna get that out of that corner. Grass is growing in here. It's been rainy, like I said. Anyway, over here, well, this is a blueberry plant, this in the middle. Now to get all these weeds out. I'm gonna get this in the ground somewhere. I might put it over in the blueberry bed, but this is a self-pollinating, or it doesn't need a pollinator blueberry. The other ones do need a different kind of blueberry to pollinate. Anyway, I was gonna say that's a weed, but no, that's my chickpea. This is the chickpea. And then I don't know what this stuff is. This may be a little pest activity here, but overall, everything looks good in here except for the grass that I need to pull out and all the weeds down there. So I need to come through here and pull out all of that stuff. Over here where I have the herbs. Now, one thing about this, I want to redo the drip irrigation. I don't like these emitters because they just have one point of contact. So it just winds up being a very complicated mess to get these things connected. I have a different type that has 2 points, so it can go kind of in a line. I'll insert a picture of that. Anyway, my herbs over here are looking good. There's the parsley at the top, some chamomile, thyme, and a giant weed that gotta go. I'll go ahead and just get it at its root. Oh man, I don't want to disturb the other roots. Then I have all kinds of other weeds. Oh wait, this may be something I had in here. Anyway, I want thyme in here, so it's gotta go. And that's parsley at the bottom, which is good for omega-3. All right, and over here, OMG, y'all. I saw immediately. Oh, I thought that was broccoli. That is not broccoli. And that's not broccoli. I thought it was like. Anyway, this is borage. I thought it was like a broccoli head. No, that's not what that is. But it is broccoli over here. And other things. I don't know. I forgot. But it's all looking good. Thanks to the rain. All right, so I am going to go ahead and head out. I have to run some errands for my mom. And then hopefully be back by dark. All right, y'all. So I made it back before sundown. I had to run a few errands for my mom. I was booking it, but I was driving safe. But on my way back, all I could think about was my ginger. I watched Beauty in the Garden earlier, and she harvested her ginger. And so I was thinking, it's long past time. I need to harvest mine. Or I was actually hoping I could transplant it, but now that I'm looking at it and the leaves are like this, I'm thinking I probably need to go ahead and harvest it. But all of this is still green. But I remember her mentioning the yellowing of the leaves, so maybe it's time for me to go ahead and harvest. The reason why I'm disappointed is because it obviously hasn't had much of an opportunity to grow in this little tiny container. It wasn't meant to stay in here for this long, but I never got around to moving it outside. And I was hoping when I was driving back that I would be able to do that, but now that I'm looking at it, yeah, it's probably time to go ahead and harvest. So I'll go ahead and at least do that. All right, so I'm outdoors doing this. And I did let it dry out because I was afraid that it was going to start rotting if I kept um, watering it. So I did let it dry out. So it's very dry. Oh, lots of root. Now, see, it's kind of staying in all together, so that makes me want to just put it in the ground. I think I'm going to put it in the ground. All right, y'all. So it started crumbling a little bit. I was going to move it over into the pepper bed because that's the only any piece of space that I have out here right now. But it started crumbling, so I'm just going to go ahead and see what's in here. And if there is something to harvest, I'll harvest it, or I'll just replant. Like this is looking like the original piece, which is very, it feels hollow. That part does. This, no, even this, it feels very hollow. Maybe this could grow something with a little node or nod or whatever it is at the tip. But let me set that aside. I do see new ginger. But let me just do this part. Had some good roots in here. And maybe, I don't know. Uh-oh. That looks like the original piece. And it's, yeah, it's hollow and slimy inside. Disgusting. That's what I was afraid of what's all going to look like, actually. That's why I stopped watering. So let's see. Here is some new ginger. Very tiny, but it's ginger. So let's see, I'll set that aside. And something really tiny. I'm not sure if this is even usable. Now this is ginger from the store that I used. And I just planted it because it started growing. Something, I think. All right, let's see. Now this has a really long root on it. I don't know if I could let these dry out and plant them. But that's from there. I don't know if I should have left that on or not. And then these final little pieces. So I definitely didn't get back what I put in. But that's my own fault for not moving it outside. But for now, I think this is new. I'm not sure if this is new or the original. But it's hard. It's so large though. I think it may be the original, so I think I can replant this. And then this little piece, definitely new ginger. It has some good roots going on. Look at that. Like, look at all the roots. But I'm not sure if I'm supposed to break that off. So I have that. And this is what I got in total. Plus this, which I think is the original. All right, so I'm back outside. The sun still has not set. I think I overestimated when it would set, thinking it would set before 5 now. I guess not yet. But anyway, I was in the process of editing my video and I realized I forgot to come over here. I did look over here, but I didn't come over here. But I definitely had already seen I have a lot of tomatoes over here coming. Even little tiny ones and lots of flowers. All right, let's see. That's the eggplant on this side, and there are actually eggplants on this one. I think these, oh no, yeah, these are eggplants. These are eggplant leaves. They even have eggplants, a few of them. So good thing I left this one. Um, these are the, I forgot what they're called, but the banana peppers, I think they're called. They turn yellow when they're ready. Here is the tomato that I first seen. It's still not ready, but I will definitely have some harvests. I think several, because I have all different stages of tomatoes coming on these plants, and I still think we have at least a month into our first frost. As you can see, it is, I can't see what the camera is seeing, but it's pretty massive over here. Fortunately, I did put the tomato cages on these. They are taller, like this one is taller. It's coming that way. This is a taller cage. But the tomato cages are definitely helping keep better control of them and keep them going upright. So definitely, that's why I try to make sure I have them in the tomato cages. But of course, you know, when I was putting them out here, I was just trying to get them in where they fit in. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe too much water. I have not fertilized anything. Like I said, I mentioned I only put compost over in that bed when I put the kohlrabi in there. I haven't used any 511 or anything, and I knew I need to do that. But it has been watering a lot, raining a lot. So that's a part of the problem. Okay, what is that? A wasp? Anyway, I just wanted to insert this in, so I'll just tack it in on the end of the video. Another video to tack on the end. But for real this time, thanks for watching, y'all.